Preparing for Ardha Halasana, that is supported bridge pose. We are going to do it with the support of 2 chairs and 2 blankets. Any chair at home will do as long as they are stable, and you may need a help of someone to hold this chair. I will just show you in a second. You need 2 blankets. Any blankets of similar size will do. Just make sure they are not too soft or slippery. Right, this is the knee fold of the blanket, and just observe the thickness of the blanket. You want the thickness of similar size. Right. Place a blanket on top of each other so that knee fold of the blanket are in line. I place one chair towards the right end of my mat, and the seat of the chair is facing towards the blanket or other end of the mat. The distance between the blanket and the seat of the chair is roughly 1 to 1.5 feet, which is up to your elbow length. Alright, come on the mat, keep the second chair handy, come on the mat and lie on your back. Pull the chair, before you lie on your back, pull a chair towards your hips, then lie on your back so that your head is on the mat and your shoulders are on the seat of the your shoulders are on the blanket, roughly an inch away from the knee fold or edge of the blanket. To measure that distance, I use my thumbs like this and I place them on the edge of the blanket to make sure my shoulders are roughly an inch inside from the edge of the blanket. Hold the front legs of the chair, pull a chair towards your hips, then land your feet on the side bars of the chair. So I'm placing here my right foot on the right bar of the chair. Similarly, I will do for the left. While holding the front legs of the chair well, push your legs on the side bars of the chair and raise your hips up. It's very important that you're holding the chair well, otherwise chair will flip. Then land your feet on the seat of the chair and raise your hips up. Just raise your hips more towards the ceiling. If this is intense, then stay here, take few breaths, slow and steady. Keep raising your hips more towards the ceiling. And when it gets too intense, slowly lower your hips towards the ground. And then come back in the position. Raise your hips more up towards the ceiling and stay here for 3 breaths. Do it couple of times before you get out of the pose. If this is going well, then let's move further. Tuck your shoulders in. So this may come with practice. So I will explain you in detail how to tuck your shoulders in. To tuck your shoulders in, move your body weight towards the left shoulder like this, so that your right shoulder is free. Just observe how my right shoulder is free and slightly up from the blanket. Then slide your right shoulder in towards the spine. Similarly, move your right body weight on your right shoulder and tuck your left shoulder in. Raise your hips up so that your sternum is roughly perpendicular to the ceiling. If this is going well, use your hands for support and place them on your lower back or your back waist, so that your fingers are pointing towards the spine. So my hand is roughly diagonal, my fingers are pointing towards the spine and my thumbs are around my lower front ribs. Alright. Option 1, you can stay here. Actually option 2, you can stay in this position, raise your hips more towards the ceiling and try to bring your sternum up perpendicular to the ceiling. If this is going well, straighten your right leg up and push with your left leg gently to land your right foot on the seat of the chair which is behind you. Just observe my left leg is still bent, and then straighten your left leg to land your left foot on the seat of the chair. Keep both the legs straight and stretch. Open the back of your knees. Slow and steady breaths here. If all is going well, then try to lift your hips more towards the ceiling and you walk your feet towards the backrest of the chair. Few more breaths. If all is well so far, slide your hands more towards in your head direction to lift your back up and to make it upright. Just observe my torso is perpendicular to the ceiling. So having your shoulders tucked in and moving your hands more towards in your head direction allows your back to come upright and also allows your hips or pelvis to lift more up towards the ceiling. Just observe your breath, slow and steady breaths. Just observe what area of your body broadens or opens with each breath. To come out of the pose, untuck your shoulders. See the moment you untuck your shoulders, how your back and your pelvis drop towards the ground. Arms at your sides, bring your arms at your sides, hands on the ground, on the blanket or on the mat. Then bend your legs and with the support of your hands, slowly lower your hips towards the ground and land your feet on the seat of the chair. Take a breath or two, then move your legs outside of the legs of the chair. Then lift your head. Before you slide back, we are going to slide back, but lift your head first, otherwise your hair will stick to the mat. I do not have that problem, but for you, you may have that problem and your hair may get pulled. So lift your head first, then slide back. And make sure you push the chair behind you away so that you don't hit to it. Then land your pelvis or hips on the blanket, cross your leg, arms at your sides or on your lower front ribs. Close your eyes and take 4 breaths here before you come up. Slow and steady breaths. Feel free to close your eyes if you want. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Last breath. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Bring soles of your feet on the blanket, mat or on the ground. Slowly turn towards your right and come up. Sit in cross-leg position on the blanket or on the mat and relax.